What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Project Orion, your weekly, well, hopefully weekly podcast about gaming, competitive gaming, and everything in between. And this week I'm here with Silva Fox. It is a pleasure to talk to you today and just talk about, honestly, whatever.
I like that. A blank slate.
Yeah. Oh, well, because I know that I have to hold myself to something because half the time I'll start stuff and not finish it.
No, I hear you. That I'm in the same way. I carry a lot of like projects and ideas I have on sticky notes, and so my desk is actually like a cluttered mess of just ideas and things. And sometimes, most of the time, I look at those old sticky notes and I'm like, "What was that about?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah."
Yeah, like I will like upload on YouTube here and there, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get back into it, and then I look and I'm like, ooh, I haven't uploaded in like 8 months. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, like my last thing I uploaded before doing this podcast was, oh god, it's like 5 months ago or something, and I would think it would be just be easy. I stream half the time. I could just hit record and just record whatever I'm streaming. Like after this, I'm
Yeah,
probably gonna stream Gears of War 5 because they announced the new one, and I was like, I haven't played Gears in over a year. It's like I gotta hop back in and see if I am actually good at it still.
yeah. The hype is back. That's for sure.
Dude,
I think the
more.
Gears of War reboot's gonna draw out a lot of people who like Gears has been kind of dormant for a long time.
Oh yeah, I am so excited for it because I'm like the last one was 2019, and I say that out loud and I realize I'm like, oh wow, that's farther away than I in my head is it's it is because like the specs for it, and I'm like, oh, I forget this was supposed to run on an Xbox One. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah,
But
yeah, lots of hype right now.
yeah,
It's just a particularly interesting time right now in just the shooter genre. In particular, like the arena shooters. I think
dude,
several years back,
I
the
like
battle
that,
royales were
dude.
everything, and then
Which is
now it's
funny
like,
because BRs, I honestly I'm not the biggest fan. Like I will occasionally hop on Apex because I'm a T-Fall fan, and I'm like Titanfall. Like I competed in like Titanfall 1 events. Like it was like one of them. It was like a very small one, but I was like because the game was pretty much dead competitively. But I was like, I'm gonna do something in it. Titanfall 2, still fantastic. People still log on and play it. There's always around like 3,000 people a day, and it just proves that they made a good game. And then they're like, battle royale. And what's this? Fuck Titanfall. We're gonna make everything else. We're gonna make Star Wars games. We're gonna do everything else. But the thing that everyone wants, and it's just
yeah, that's tough. That's tough. I know that the Titanfall community. I mean, yeah, you're right though. That
we're
always quality will like last. That's always what ends up
and
happening.
and they always every year they make a tweet being like, "Oh, Titanfall's at our core," and blah 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 blah, and they say all this corporate fucking spiel and garbage, and everyone, and then they're like, "So, buy this new bundle in Apex," and I'm like, "Oh my god, just stop." Oh my, oh man. Well, alrighty. If you Mike, you want to get into the questions, or do you want to talk more about like the Xbox Direct, about all those games, or
No, maybe I'll give like just a slight spiel on who I am, just a bit, in case anybody's like watching it and they're like, "Well, why is this guy getting interviewed?" And honestly, I would be asking the same thing. Yeah, I go by Silva Fox. I've been casting now and competing in Halo for about a year or two, but I've competed pretty much most of my life, and but most of that time was spent in the Call of Duty realm of things, and then always had just kind of affinity for Halo. And when Infinite got teased out and had 3 years of production and kind of a failed launch, but I've been grinding away since the beginning, and
fails an
now it's
understatement?
yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
I'm definitely glazing the Halo experience a little bit, and but you know, still at the same time though, I've met a lot of really cool people through Halo. So you were just talking earlier about like people still play Titanfall, and like people still play Halo. Like I mean, even
Oh
though
yeah,
you could easily say it's dying, but the people that are here are pretty dedicated and committed, and honestly, pretty cool people too. So
yeah. That's why I'm like, I want to choose pretty much anyone to interview, big, small, because I'm like, the Halo community is, we're a very small community at this point. We're very tight knit, so I'm like, we got to keep everyone together, try to hold it down, because I'm like,
Yeah.
there's not much. We get fucking awful stuff in the store and battle passes that are 20 tiers that are honestly pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
get
It's kind of
and
been
MCC has more players, so literally, I looked at the numbers yesterday. There was like 2,000 more people playing MCC.
dang. And then yeah, you look and see like even just Twitch numbers like on a given day at like a
Yeah,
lull, you'll see like 500 Halo Infinite viewers, and you'll
the
see, and
yeah the
even with X Defiant, X Defiant has like 50 to 80K
yeah,
viewers.
it's
Like
like
at a
the
time, you're
only
like, man,
time Infinite gets decent numbers is when like all the pros start to stream for like the day. It's like when Lucid hops on and like all of them, they're just like, well, here's the numbers. Or when there's an event.
mm,
Like the only time there's an event is when I'll see like 18 to 20K, and then everyone just goes off and plays all their other stuff.
yeah, it's a very interesting situation it's in. Is that everybody will tune in when stuff's happening, but not regularly. So, but
Yeah.
could be worse.
Oh yeah. First question is, I was more wondering, where did you get the name idea for Silver Fox, or like, what was your like, what was going through your head when you thought of that? Because mine is pretty much the like no brain thought of it. Like literally, there is no thought in mine at all.
Yeah, no, let's see here. I guess a good starting point would be when I was in college, I played on our ultimate frisbee team, and at that point I was in my, very early 20s, but I started going gray at about like 19, and it started to get noticeable at that point,
I felt that.
and so just one time I just went off in one of the games we were playing, and just somebody on the sideline just called me the Silver Fox, and then it just that stuck with me, just the Silver Fox. I mean, because from that point on, I just continued to get more and more gray, and I actually, for the most part, go by Manny. Just people that know me call me Manny. And my gamer tag for a good bit was like Manny Amok. But when I started playing Halo and competing and stuff like that, like it was just funny because there's another Manny in the realm who is a
Yes.
pro and a
Yeah.
very well established player,
Uh
and I
huh.
just was like, I was like,
It's gonna make
like
things
this is the
awkward.
time. Yeah, I was like, this is time for like a rebrand, and so I spelled it out, Silver Fox. I changed it to Silva Fox, so just in a way to kind of have a gamer tag that's unique and on my own, and kind of stand out just a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of the gamer tag I've just been rocking from now on, and just trying to get that name out there and recognize, and yeah, any opportunities that come up.
Yeah. Mine, everything for online is my gamer tag just backwards.
Ah, yeah, that's a
And
good one.
I changed mine. I think it was like 2012 if I remember. And I was playing through one of the Hitman games, and I was like, well, he's got a barcode. And I was like, all right, that's cool. And I was like, what's two random numbers I could throw together? And I was like, 55. Fuck it, this works. And it's just stuck. And I'm like, eh. And plus, I don't want to change it because then now your gamer tag goes all like the stuff behind it now, like the numbers and all that. And I'm like, I'd rather not have all that.
Yeah, some people get really attached to him. I got a buddy of mine who still has his gamer tag from when he was 16 years old, and back then you could have up to, I believe, 14 characters in your gamer tag. So
Yes. Yeah, you could
now
have
you
them
can't do
all
that anymore.
long and oh yeah.
Yeah. So he has just like this super long gamer tag that's like just dope. Like whenever it rolls into the lobby, because it
Yeah.
just looks like it's fake now at this point. But yeah, he's never
Yeah.
gonna change it.
I'm still trying to look for the original tag because I was talking to Barcode on his stream and he's still trying to get it as well. But it's from like 2004, and I would think when they reset them all back in like 2015, they would have just gotten rid of it. But you still can't get it. And it's
Yep.
just it
Yeah.
makes no sense.
Yeah, that's cool though. It's cool that they reset. They'll probably, I bet they'll do another reset here
I would
probably
hope.
in the next couple of years.
Yeah, because even if it sits on like a second account, at least I'm like, as long as I have it or he has it, so it's like one of us is gonna have this tag. Because I even said, I was like, if we can get money and buy this tag, I was like, I'll buy it with you, and we just share the account just to have it at this point. It's like literally.
That's funny. That's awesome.
Yeah. Um, favorite in the franchise, or just and your favorite game of all time?
Ooh, that's a good
Yeah.
question.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start with the first part there. The first in the franchise, it's tough because I think I'll go Halo 3 just because that's when I was really on board because at the
Yeah.
initial like launch of Halo, I was a PlayStation, I had a PS2 and
Ooh,
that was my console. So, obviously the Xbox and Halo and then Halo 2, but like Halo 2 and
that's my
the
favorite.
launch yeah, the launch
H2
of
is my
it that
favorite.
coincided with the Xbox Live, like I inherently played a ton of Halo 2 and I never even owned it. That's just how huge it really was. But then Halo 3 was when I'd finally been like converted over, got the 360, got the
Yeah.
Halo 3. Of course, at that time when I started playing Halo 3, I was absolutely getting dumped on because you
Oh
talked about
yeah.
like everybody on there had been playing for like such a long time, and I went on there, I was like, wait, what? Shields and like all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like it was a lot to learn. So I didn't even really like compete back in that day. Like I just kind of played for fun, and I think it's got the nostalgia around it too of just like the times how the times were back then and stuff like that, and all the different stuff can really tap into that. Especially when I see like videos that are like the old Xbox 360 like dashboard like slicing left and right, and
Dude,
you're
I
like, oh
miss
man,
it. Oh, I miss it. Well,
those things like tap into your nostalgia real
yeah.
quick.
Which is funny because my favorite is H2, but yet I was, oh god, what was I? I was like 3 when it came out, and I didn't really play H2 till I was probably about 5. And of course, at that age, I didn't play multiplayer or anything. Like, I didn't get an actual like Xbox Live account till I think it was like 2009. So like right about when Reach was coming out was like when I first like really got into playing online, and it was yeah for the longest time I got absolutely just shitted on in lobbies. But I started going into like the arena game mode, which was kind of like Reach's ranked outside of the MLG playlist, because it was what they counted as quote unquote ranked.
Mhm.
And I I'd say some disrespectful things because I was a kid and I was like, I'm gonna talk shit to everybody. I'd be like, yeah, you lost to like a fucking 9-year-old kid. You're fucking ass, bro. And he'd be like, shut up. And they would, dude, like the things I'd hear. Oh my god, you'd get shot if you said it in real life. Like I heard someone like load their gun on Xbox Live. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, bro, we're
Yeah,
just playing Halo. Chill,
yeah, it was a different time, that's for
dude.
sure. Things were a lot
Nowadays,
more wild.
oh yeah, I do kind of miss forced game chat though.
Yeah,
I
that and like proximity chat and like big team would be really
yes,
awesome too. Like that, those are some things that like that's like the sad part is that like there's just so many really awesome staple things in terms of the Halo franchise that like you don't really get
yeah,
necessarily anymore. And so,
yeah. Like I
um,
miss like COD S&D forced game chat lobbies, and everyone's just talking shit, and then after the game they're like, GG.
yeah, I think that's what was holding America together was everybody getting their toxicity out in the
Toxicity
pregame
out
and
on
after
Xbox. Oh yeah.
that.
Or like right after you die, everyone's like, "Oh, that's fucking bullshit. You're ass." Oh, that's what. Yeah. Now on Infinite, I
uh,
just can't even hear people in game because audio
yeah,
doesn't work.
yeah, audio issues, and most of the
Uh,
time people aren't
I
using
can't.
their mics.
Oh well, my mic. Like I can turn mine on. I just can't hear people talk back. It makes no sense. I've even reset everything in game, all that, and it just goes, meh, nope. So I'm like, if I'm playing with other people, I'm like, join an Xbox party or join a Discord call. I'm like, because I can't hear you. But they're like, we can hear you. I'm like, well, then this is useless. Like, this is so dumb. I'm going to make a call out and you're just going to be like, okay.
I know, right?
It
Yeah,
just doesn't
it's
work.
it's too difficult.
Yeah.
Too, but oh, and then the second
Favorite
part of your
game.
question, yeah, favorite
Favorite
game of
game
all
of all
time.
time.
Ooh, man. Um, I will s- I will say this, like for some reason Steam just had I think Kingdom Hearts just came to Steam, so like a part of me like is just drawn to like that and the experience I had the first time playing Kingdom Hearts. Like
You're
that
going to
was
hate me
probably
for saying this. I've never played them.
ah, dude, no, I won't hate you for it. I
Okay,
mean,
because I know some
the
people
first
are like, oh,
yeah.
you've never played them, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
God.
I would say that one, like honestly, I don't think I've ever had quite an experience in terms, especially single player. Like I mostly play multiplayer, but the first Kingdom Hearts coming out, like I don't like just absolutely like just logging in, playing that, and just like an entire night just like suddenly flashed before, like just
Yeah.
absolutely being immersed into a game, and that was it. I think there's been a few other ones I've had since then. I think the Last of Us, like the first
Yes.
one.
Okay.
That's
Do you
an
like the
amazing
second
game.
one? Because
I
I'm
honestly just didn't
someone
even get into it.
the second I well, the community doesn't the Last of Us subreddit doesn't like it. They oh my god. Like if I ever went in there and said I love The Last of Us Part 2, I'm getting fucking murdered by somebody.
Getting downvoted.
Dude, it is. Oh, I'm getting more than downvoted. Like they're like finding where I live level. It's
You're getting
it's funny.
DDoS.
Oh yeah, I'm getting DDoSed. Like it is the only game that I have played that genuinely like it ended and the flash and like the splash screen came up and I started crying. Like it is genuinely that emotionally raw and I think yeah, like it's got flaws. Like I'll admit it. Like, but I think to a point people just hate to hate. Like it's a fantastic game. Get over it. The game ain't perfect, but it's like it is fucking amazing. And like
Yeah, I think it's like a combination of like the first one was so good and like it was so amazing that I feel like with sequels, like there's no way you're gonna be able to like match that expectation of like nailing it again, you know?
unless you're
Like it,
H2, then
yeah,
you
like
just
that's about
surpass. Yeah, or Mass Effect 2, which those are like the when I played through all of them the first time, it was like what you said. All of a sudden, I just played all night, and it is. I've never played a choice game, science fiction game like that. That is so just engrossing. Because like it
yeah.
is, which is funny because they came out with Andromeda and everyone hated it, which it's not a bad game, but I digress.
Oh, it's all good. And then the only thing I'd
Dude,
say is that yeah, the show on HBO that was fantastic too. Like it
yes.
really came full circle. So yeah, that whole Last of Us story, that story is amazing. So if anybody listening has never played it or watched it, like definitely
Watch
that's
the
one that
show.
you can
Yeah.
yeah, watch the show, play the
Don't
game.
watch
Like it's
another
it's
one.
good.
Yeah. Don't watch another show based off a game.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
most of the time they really whiff when
yeah.
it comes to game
Don't watch a
game
certain
just
one. Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah, most of the time they whiff, but on this one they really nailed it. So
oh yeah. It's more. Well, like you said earlier, you started competing. You said about a year ago in Halo. Did you compete in COD? Like how you said you played that before, or is it like Halo your first like venture really into being like I'm gonna try to network myself, get on a team, attempt to do anything, and actually take it serious?
yeah, we'll say like the Halo journey itself over the last like 2 years now has been just like some kind of like a progression. It's just like tapping back into the competitiveness that I've always kind of had as even growing up. Um, and so I've just taken it more and more serious with just like learning as much as possible, continuing to push myself and like play people who are better than myself. Like a lot of it is just getting your ass whooped, like
Mm-hmm.
and but staying and getting back on the horse and learning and getting better. And that's been a really interesting journey just because in Halo I never really pushed it competitively, so this has been a really great learning experience. But my history goes back to like all the way to Call of Duty 4 and competing in like MLG pro circuits and like a bunch of online tournaments. And at one point in Modern Warfare 2, like I was competing against Envious before that was an
Oh shit.
organization. Like and a lot of those things came really easy to me way back in the day, and then I kind of just would tinker with it on and off throughout the years, and then it hasn't been until recently that I really came all the way back into competitiveness, and then have like combined the discipline of like actually practicing and like doing the things that you need to do in order to get better, which aren't exactly fun. You know what I mean? A lot of
Oh
it's
yeah.
like different types of training and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, like it's been a long journey. Mostly competing in Call of Duty, but pretty much all my life and throughout all the franchises, and this is like the first like second game that I've really just tried to go into, and I just enjoy the chessboard of Halo so much.
Yes. It
It's
there's
there's so much
nothing
more
like
going
it.
on.
There's
Yeah.
no other shooter like it.
Yeah,
Like I
and
watch
I think that's why
yeah.
people keep viewing, like people keep coming back
Yes.
for the events because they know like it is really quality competitiveness.
Yes. It is yeah, like I watched like the COD League in like I nothing against them. I think it's boring. I don't like the whole I'm just gonna keep peeking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to different spawns. It's just like it is it genuinely, like, I watch it and I'm like, I could take a nap watching this right now. Like, it
Yeah,
is
I'm
like,
right. I'm right there with you.
they're like there's nothing against it. Like, I also just don't think the game is, well, good in general. Like, Black Ops 6 is like the first one in years where I'm like, this might actually be something.
Yeah.
Because Modern Warfare 3 wasn't even supposed to be a game. Uh, MW2 wasn't great. Like, the last one I kind of played was Modern Warfare 2019, and I didn't even play that a lot. But, like, Black Ops 6 is, like, the first one where I'm kind of like, wow, this might actually be good. Because, like, the
Yeah, it's
last
because
one,
they're finally facing some competition in the FPS realm rather than dominating it.
yeah, I just miss when it was Reach, Black Ops 1, and it was, like, each game had 1.5 million players each, and it was just peak. And then now I hop on Halo, and it takes me 5 minutes to get a match. And then someone leaves the second it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm in Diamond 1 lobbies, so it's not like I'm in anything high.
Yeah, it's definitely fallen off compared to what it used to be.
Yeah. Okay, so you've said you followed the scene for a while now and everything. It was more what your top 5 players. They don't even have to be the best of all time, just the top 5 players in HCS, old MLG days, just ones that you were just like, they're like, I want to play like them, or just the ones that you just enjoy watching or competing
Yeah.
against.
Yeah, I'll do 5 like OG Halo players and then I'll do like 5 current players.
That's fine.
So 5 OG players, I would throw Snipe down on there because like when he was on the come up and then he joined Straight
Yeah,
Rippin', and he showed up and like he was the type of player that if he got the actual sniper in a match, like
it
he
was over.
absolutely changed the
Oh yeah,
tide of the
it
game.
was over.
It
Oh
was
yeah,
over, and
yeah,
it
it
was
was done.
insane to watch. And so I watched him on the come up. So like he's definitely one of the OGs. And then for me, even when I played back then, I'd be like, I'm gonna be the sniper guy. Like you know what I mean? Like I was definitely inspired by that. I think you throw Ogre 2 in there as
Mm-hmm.
as the goat for sure. Like I think that one I don't even need to add anything to that one. Ogre 2 is
My,
definitely the goat.
I think, because I talked to Dark Matter about this, I was like, because of how much Snakebite and them keep winning and how long they have played and keep winning, I was like, when does it start to, though, change to where Ogre 2 might not be the GOAT? It might be Snipe Down, Frosty, and just that trio in general. If not, Lethal is probably, like, you could argue that he's also the GOAT. It's like from Reach on, he's just one up
Yeah.
until recently.
Yeah, I think it's like an era thing. So like
Mm-hmm.
if you're talking about like MLG, like you're like Ogre 2 is the goat of that. And then I think
Mm-hmm.
easily like if you're talking about like modern Halo, like from Reach on, like Lethal's definitely like he's the
Lethal,
guy that's
yeah.
hard to knock off as the greatest of all time just based off of the winnings and what he's
He
been
just
able to
keeps winning and
accomplish.
winning. And
And
it
if he wins in Halo, then like or Halo Infinite, like if he wins like a major or
he's
if he
already
wins like
won a
worlds,
major.
like
He's already won a
yeah,
major. It's just, I think since that team separated, it's just been a little, like, his closest was that invitational last year, but that wasn't an actual major. Like, that's the closest he's gotten to winning. But it's just,
heck yeah.
it's just, I don't know. It just seems like
If
it's
he
just
if
been a
he wins
mess.
worlds, if he wins a
Dude,
world
if
championship in Halo
Sentinels,
Infinite,
dude,
then
if Sentinels fucking wins Worlds this year, people are gonna be like, "Yep, sorry, Ogre 2. This man just pulled some out of his ass this year." Like,
yeah, that's definitely
literally.
a discussion to have for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. In terms of, all right, so I did Snipe Down Ogre 2.
2.
I'll throw out. I liked watching Hysteria play. He was one
Ooh.
of those people that, with the power weapon, was a
It's a name I
huge
haven't
game
heard in a
changer.
minute.
Yeah, Hysteria was really freaking good, especially with triggers down. Pistola's up
Ah,
there,
whoa,
and
whoa,
then
whoa.
and then to round out the crew, I think I'll just put some respect on Best Man, just because
Okay.
I
Yep.
think he was a solid OG player, and I'm sure there's other people you could easily put above him, but the fact that he's been in the game for such a long time, like I
Yeah,
think it's
and
just kind of
he's.
like a grandfathered thing in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then for 5 current players,
Current. Yeah, oh, yeah, You could piss off a lot of people with this list.
I'll say like one of my favorite people to watch is just Boo Boo Doo Boo in general.
Yes, I love Boo Boo. Ever
He's
since I got
yeah.
back into it in like H5, like I stopped for a few years watching and everything, and then back in H5, I think I got back to it like late 2017, early 2018, and just Boo Boo, like Shotzi. I thought 2018, like he pretty much got me back in the watching competitive Halo because there was nothing like no one could touch him. It was just
Yeah.
it was different.
Yeah, he just plays different, and I don't know how to explain it. Like, it just every time I watch him play, I usually learn something new. He kind of maneuvers across the map and does a great job of working a lot smarter than harder, which is really cool to watch. Like, he just seems to be like the one that gets the edge over his enemies, and
And Boo Boo
yeah,
force chokes people too. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was definitely impressive over there in HCS London.
that was great.
That was a good moment. Um, Man,
Ooh.
obviously I'll throw probably some easy names out there like Lucid, like in general, watching him play, like
Oh yeah.
he's an absolute general on the field, and it's impressive because he could outslay everybody, but his positioning is outstanding, his knowledge of the game and its mechanics, and he's like honestly putting on a lesson every time he's out there playing.
Yeah. I know his attitude turns some people off because he's always complaining about something. But to be fair, I think that's just what all of us do, though. Like, even if you're not competitive, you just complain about something in any game you're playing.
Hmm.
And Infinite, I think it's just easier because you can tell when stuff doesn't work. Like when your gun jams or your shots aren't registering, or just you pick up something and you don't pick it up, or just connection to the servers is awful. I just think it's more easier to find stuff to complain about in Infinite than say like I don't know, like Siege.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Well, the part about Lucid that's really goated too is the fact that like him as a content creator, like especially when this game just came out, like he was the one that was putting out tons of videos on YouTube on how to get better and movement guides and all the stuff that like we see like every player absolutely mastering right now in the game.
Yeah,
So like he's definitely awesome in the regards that he is so good, and he was like so willing to share a lot of that information, which inherently made the entire community better. So I think that aspect of like what he's done for the community is definitely underrated and that doesn't get acknowledged enough. But yeah, and then okay, so we've done Boo Boo, we got
Boo Boo,
Lucid.
Lucid.
Oh man, I'll probably, like one guy I definitely like probably wouldn't like in person, but is just absolutely insane to watch. Has got to be Renegade, and just the way he's been able to absolutely master the aggressive role on the map and outslay. And when he entry frags, like it's like 1.5 kills almost every time, with absolute consistency against the best players in the world. And of course, he talks his shit, which
I
definitely
was
throws a
just
lot of
about to
people
say,
off.
I was like,
And he's
why do you
super
say in
cocky.
person? I was about to say it because I was like, I met him. He's good people. I was like,
Oh, I
he's nice.
bet.
Oh yeah, I was like, he was chill and everything.
Yeah, I bet he is like a real chill dude.
Oh
He
yeah,
just
he
gives
is.
off
He's
a
cool.
cocky persona for
Oh
sure
yeah,
that
he
I definitely
definitely
know
does.
throws a lot of people off. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
the Bound as
yeah,
well. Like when
yeah,
I talk to him, he's very chill, down to earth. But it's like, yeah, like the second he puts on the headset and has the controller in his hand, oh yeah, he'll definitely talk shit.
it's a
Legend,
part
I
of the
didn't.
game.
Oh yeah, like Legend, I didn't even say anything to him. I think Saturday and Orlando because he didn't move for like 4 hours, and I told him that. I said, "Bro, you know you can get up." He's like, I'm like, you could have like walked over, said hi or anything. I said, brother, I wasn't gonna bother you. You didn't move. Like you didn't get up to take a piss, eat, drink, nothing. I was like, you didn't move physically for 4 hours. I was like, so I just was gonna let you be.
What a monster. Yeah, I'll throw Legend on there as the other guy. Like his ability
he's
to play objective. I think he's one of the best objective players in the game, hands down.
Do you think he's the best EU player of like say all time, or because a lot of people have already thrown him in there because he won a major and he's the only, but I don't know, it's like Jimbo's played since like fucking out the womb Halo, so it's kind of like it's kind of hard to be like, yeah, he's been the most successful when it comes to maybe winning, But it's like when you have someone like, say, Jimbo or Sika, or even like
I think
Snipe Drone, who's played a while as well, even like beginning of H5. So it's kind of like they've played over 10 years, but yeah, Legend, very end of H5, basically infinite. It's like, it's kind of hard to be like, yeah, he's the definitive EU GOAT, because there's people like that have been there since the start.
Yeah, I think it's like one of those scenarios where like a lot of players have like crawled so that Legend
He
can
can
walk
walk,
and then
yeah.
eventually sprint. I think the respect on EU definitely owes a lot to all of those guys who have been staples in that community that have basically
Yeah.
kept it going for so long that like if you were talking EU, you obviously can't exclude their names. I just think like Legend has put like a nice exclamation mark on what the talent pool
Yeah.
is over there coming across the pond
Mm-hmm.
and then dominating in great fashion in his first like major like that and winning his first major, like that's just really awesome and impressive. And
Yeah.
it's just good for Halo in general because it's such
It adds
a
more talent pool to
North
it. Yeah.
yeah, it's such a North American
American
game,
dominated.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in terms of like this game spreading and getting more players, it's really good for that stuff
Mm-hmm.
to continue happening.
Okay, so you got Boo Boo, Lucid, Legend. Need two more.
I threw Renegade on there, so I
Renegade,
need
so
one
one more. That team
one
alone is
more.
already
That team's
winning something.
disgusting.
Like, the team alone is already dominating.
Ooh, man.
Ooh. Because you could throw a bunch of
Um,
names into this.
I'm not gonna throw. There's probably definitely some other names that like me in the goat conversation. Like I think Bound would be up there. I'm just not gonna pick Bound because I think like him and Renegade play very similar, and I
They
think
do.
Renegade is a little bit better. Like a little at the
Legend
edges of the
plays
mouth.
similar to him as well.
Yeah,
You could even.
I'll throw a name out there that I just feel like doesn't get enough love is Falcated. I think just
Yeah,
in terms of
ooh.
being a Slayer,
Yeah.
like he's just insane. I think
He
he could easily be a
Yeah,
top 10 player.
oh yeah, he's always like their top slayer. Even at Arlington when they all just were not playing good or whatever, he was like the one where he just pretty much carried them.
Yeah,
Like, even
he's
Lethal was like, I
nasty.
didn't play good, and I know Sparty was going through physical issues. I was gonna ask you about that. What is your opinion of that whole situation with him
And
reformatting the
yeah,
SSD and all that? Because I I get why, because they want to make an example of him, and I know that he's always been very critical of HCS and Tashi and all of them, but it's more of he didn't compete in an actual match with it,
yeah.
and he even explained to them what he did. And I do get that the computers for every single event have had some sort of issue, and yeah, he's a head case about it and thinks that it does do something, and it might, but it's like that. I do think that there was a little disconnect with it. Like, yeah, he probably could have just said, hey, my shit isn't working, and it probably would have been fixed, or it would have ran a little bit better. I do think it was stupid to cap the frame rate personally, but I don't know. It's just, I think the whole rest of the year is stupid when when we have no clue if there is going to be anything next year, and if there is, it's going to be smaller places that they're going to go to, or just all online tourneys.
Yeah, for sure. I think you nailed a lot of like just the things that kind of like went into the equation. I think there's a long backstory of, Sparty being hypercritical of, HCS and stuff like
Oh,
that,
I
which,
remember those
you know,
first tweets. Ooh.
yeah, like
When he
if you're
got
being
fined.
politi like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, like if you're being
Ooh.
political, like, like and you're talking about a situation in which a punishment's being handed down, like, you're gonna reap all of those things in the end game.
Yeah.
So I think that was a part of it. I think, the whole. I mean, if you talk about what the initial reports like initially like went out, it kind of was the main storyline was, oh, Sparty cheated. Like, that
But
was the
well, yeah,
first information that went out.
because I even sent him a DM. I was like, they're saying you guys cheated. What the fuck is going on? Because I was like, you literally say almost every stream you don't cheat. Ryan would never cheat. Like, literally, like, no one on that team would have even remotely decided to cheat. And it's more of the HCS literally got their information wrong and then didn't publicly say that they messed up and just changed the blog they put on Waypoint, which, let's be real, who the fuck goes on Waypoint?
Yeah.
They changed that and then were just like, oh, someone might read this and have to say something about it. It's like, you guys tweet nothing from an official account. You guys tweet it from your own. They literally all, like, it's not hard to set up a Twitter, have them all be able to log into it, and just have it be like the official, here's all the information goes. And they don't do nothing to communicate. Or they just say, it's in the works, or we'll get back to you. Like, they haven't even said anything about his appeal. And he appealed it, but they haven't said anything. And he probably appealed it, like, a week ago.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of that stuff will be, like, behind closed doors things. Yeah, I would say it's all kind of just a disaster, really. I mean, because they initially put out that, or a lot of the reports came out that Sparty was quote-unquote cheating. And so, like, I understand from HCS's standpoint, you're talking about somebody that, like, based on his actions, like, that reputation and that information went out, which damages ultimately, like, it affects the Halo HCS as a whole, whether he was in trying it or not.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just like I think it's just a thing, unfortunately, right? If he did not want that, like, to potentially go that way, then his actions still led to it. So I still think he has culpability in it. And I think he's owned up to it.
Oh yeah, he said it. I watched the Tools interview with him like the day it came out because I was like, what is he gonna say about this? And he goes, yeah. Everyone said I'm stupid, but they're like, you shouldn't have been banned this long, and they're like, you just wanted the game to function, and the game hasn't functioned in almost 3 years. So it's like,
that ban hammer was excessive.
It was very excessive. I was like, this is a lot for something that realistically affected nothing.
Yeah, and I think you could also look to, like, the Royal 2 thing of the geo filtering, and so if you compare those two, like, they feel like they're on a similar playing field in terms of what happened.
I know
and
Tashi.
Royal 2 didn't really get
I know Tashi said the reason why that one wasn't as excessive as Sparty's was because that was for an online event, and his was on LAN, but still he was filtering to get better ping, and the other one just wanted the game to actually work. And yeah, I get, like, he even said he did it at Arlington, but to be fair, I think at Arlington it's not fully his fault when the admin literally logged into his stuff on his computer and told him go ahead.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And next on the note, I actually have how do you feel about Mickwin stepping away yesterday? That was that was not in my bingo card. I made that tweet. I was like, well, this wasn't in my my thing today to see this.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a shock and a twist. He's on. I don't know if he was officially on the complexity roster, but it looked like they were trying him out. To maybe put him on the squad. Yeah, I think for him, he's probably just sick of it. I can imagine the amount of frustration. That native gaming situation was pretty tumultuous. I mean, it was really, you're talking about like a rotating door of rosters, and in Halo, like the contingency of the same squad over and over again ultimately leads to results. But if you keep changing that, like, I can imagine that, like, you're starting over.
Well, yeah, because they had Truck, and then Druck got dropped, and I think they picked up Bohm, and then Barcode couldn't play, and then it was just like they had, like, it was just a weird thing. And it's like they did get a top 4, so it's like they could still win something. But I just think, like, realistically, I described the team to Mikowski well. It's Barcode in the old farts. Like, I'm so like APG's a world champion, one of the best ever, Mickwin as well. But it's like, realistically, it was Barcode and pretty much everyone in the Twilight years.
Yeah.
It's sad to say, like, APG, this is probably his last year doing anything competitive. Which sucks that he's kind of, like, no matter what they seem to do, they can't win anything. But maybe with tapping buns, they can actually do something. But I don't know.
Yeah, tapping buttons adds a lot of firepower. He's an
Mm-hmm.
insane player, and so I saw that and was like, that's a
I
good move
think
for them
I think they're
for sure.
adding. I think Native also added Descendant as well.
Yeah, I
So at
think
least
that's for
they're
their
trying to go a little
teamer.
more younger around APG, but it's still like who knows if that's gonna do much. Like they might get top six, which
Yeah.
I guess is good for them because all this year they have done pretty much nothing.
Yeah, it's been a very disappointing year for them. I think it's been a
Mm-hmm.
very disappointing just last like couple of years for Mick Wynn, and I can imagine at a certain point he's probably just kind of done with the grind of it. And who knows? Maybe he'll
What's
be
funny
back.
because he's
Maybe he
streaming
just
like
needs a
right
break.
now. Just funny because he's streaming like right now, like the game, and I'm like, you stepped away from competing, but you're playing ranked matches right now. So it's like, but I guess he did say if it's online, he doesn't take it as serious as a LAN. But he even like last year was saying that he's having like wrist issues, and it's just all starting to add up. And I guess when you go from tournament to tournament to tournament, it just your body definitely can't handle all the different stuff when you're having to keep constantly switching games and then having to relearn everything, and it just becomes taxing.
Yeah, and I think what a lot of people don't realize is when you're competing, like especially at that level, like your whole entire life is competing in Halo.
Yes,
Like
like
there's no really off days. Like you have to make a
no,
lot of sacrifices. Like you're continuously grinding. Otherwise, somebody else is going to be grinding harder than you, and they're going to pass you. So like it's a tough
which is
lifestyle. I can only
why
imagine.
I don't get why teams rotate the same players over and over again when there's like Gumplexion literally even said he feels like he's being gate kept. It's just like he's really fucking good at the game and no team gives him a chance. But yet you randomly see like it's the last shot like during this offseason just get picked up by multiple teams at once. But he's been grinding for years now and gets almost nothing. But
Hmm.
it's just weird that like most of the smaller scene gets no one comes up unless they are just dominating like FFA or side tournaments or just. But yet Gunny can hop into lobbies with Snakebite and all of them and come out as the best player in that lobby and just no one looks at it or like King J even like he just came back and got picked up instantly. And it's like I think King J's great, but it's like a lot of people are like he probably shouldn't have not gotten picked up by a literal pro team instantly like that. He probably should have come back with like a team like Gunnies and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's a reputation thing. I think it's kind of like nobody will expect you to do something until you do it. So like it's kind of like the unfortunate part because I think like ultimately you have someone like King J who's been up there in the top 8 and competing in
Yeah.
that sphere, which is a very tight knit sphere.
Oh
So I
yeah.
think like there's a level of trust there rather than like taking a chance on somebody that hasn't quite been there. But I think you're right though. I think Gunplexion has definitely proven he's capable and he needs an opportunity.
Yeah, like most of the players he like breaking shot, like he's always grinding, he's always playing. Like that reversal perfy roster, it's nice to see him get like top 3 in the online event yesterday. Cuz it's like normally they get taken out early and
Yeah.
it's like you can tell that they all constantly keep playing. It was sucks seeing what was it? Stop the Glaze have to not play and like because it's like
Passion
they
United too.
dude, I was like, oh my god, because I know PD has put a lot into that roster, and having to see them back out on day 2 was it's gotta hurt.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough, especially for them. I mean, you're talking about like everybody in the AM scene and in those
Oh yeah,
semi-pros. Like, they're people that have jobs on a given day.
mm-hmm.
It's tough.
Yeah,
It's
like
tough to balance all of that.
yeah, like when I yeah, like I got off work, I don't know, 4 hours ago, and when I talked to Dark Matter f- for the first episode, I think I'd gone off work maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours before. So it's just like I I barely I mostly play in the evening unless I get off early, which is sometimes okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's like we're not like all of us aren't lucid and all of them that could sit there and play 10 hours a day and then go do other stuff because they can just wake up and do that the next day. It's I do
Yeah, it's
wish there
tough.
was a little more, I'd say, online tourneys. Like, even if they were just, like, smaller, like, which is why I do miss, like, game battles and stuff. Because there would just be, like, midweek, just random things, like, $100, even smaller. Just like, hey, hop on, you can get some money if you win. Just, like, something to keep the scene going a little. Because they just don't push certain things. Like, I miss crowdfunding because it's what kind of drew me into wanting to compete. Because I saw, well, in H5, when you see $2.5 million, you're like, oh fuck, well, I'm gonna throw my name into this. Fuck it.
Yeah, right.
And then they're like,
Hell yeah.
oh, beginning of Infinite, no more crowdfunding. It's like, well, then what's the point of selling these skins if it doesn't go towards certain prize pools? It goes towards the orgs, which is nice, but it's like it's between like 6 orgs,
Yeah.
and then you guys are so stingy with who you add into it to become like an official HCS sponsored team. Like, they gave G1 issues, but G1 also is fucking shit org. But
Yeah.
but you have teams um like uh native, or even like some of the smaller ones, like like Darkest Hour, like even like orgs like that have been around for so long, even in Halo, that they don't get the certain funding that they probably should
Mhm.
within the scene.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nice.
more of
Hey,
the
real
last.
quick, can we take just a quick break?
Uh, sure, that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah, just take a quick 2-minute break. 1 second. I'll be right back.
you're good. I can edit this out.
Nice. Thanks. I appreciate it.
You're good, man.
I'm ready to roll whenever you are.
All right. More of the last question I had written down more was if you were to at this point compete in a different game, what would it be? Or would you wait for another game to come out, say like the new Gears of War, if you wanted to give that a spin, or just would you go back to COD or anything else?
Man, that's like a really good question. It's really on the money too, especially with where things are at right now. Like, cause
Mm-hmm.
it's funny you say that because I'm like, that's a good question because I keep asking myself that very same thing right now. It's tough. There's a kind of a part of me that like just looks at all of the land opportunities with fighting games and just like
Mm-hmm.
the fact that it's an individual esport a little bit
Yeah.
more, whereas like the team aspect of Halo like can be a lot of fun, but it can be really difficult because you're talking about trying to get 4 people on the same page who are,
Uh-huh.
have good attitudes, who are good, who are on constantly, and like it's a lot to balance and manage too. Um, I'm gonna stick out the Halo Infinite for this season. If it gets announced for a year 4, then I definitely will like continue to throw my name in the ring. I think just based on the fact that I've dedicated a decent chunk of time on Halo Infinite, I'd like to just kind of see how far I could take it. I'm nowhere near where like Dark Matter and Scion Esports are. They're like
Nah,
a team. They're
they've
like a
been
team
together
that's like
for it's been like a year and a half or something. Like, they're like the longest standing team outside of, I think it's FaZe. Like, literally no other team has been together except for them two, like the longest. And it's weird to think because most of the
yeah.
teams like on their level and everything, they constantly are swapping players around and everything. But it's like it's been proven that they can go far. Like, I saw like where they placed at like the last major, they were pretty much like right there from getting pool play. So I'm like, because like I told them, I was like, you guys are right there, and I was like, you all are really good at the game.
Oh
And
yeah, dude.
I
And
was
they're
like,
all really, really awesome dudes in
oh yeah,
person
they're
too.
all awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I was
and
just
and
talking
for
to
them, it's awesome.
yeah, like I was talking to Ty yesterday. I was just like, "What's up, bro?" And he's just like, "Oh, how you been?" And I was like, "I'm good." Like, it is a little weird still. Like, I can just go on Twitter and just like talk to pros and stuff, and there's like, "Oh, how's it going?" And I'm like, "This is so odd still." Like, from going there, I've been able to talk to so many different people and stuff, and I'm just like, it is a little jarring still. And I was like, I can just DM guys, and they just be like, "Oh, how's it going?"
Yeah,
It's
like lots
so
of people in the
weird.
Halo community are really cool.
Yeah.
And usually down to earth people, even if like they have like a cocky persona, usually when you
Oh yeah.
chat with them outside of the game, they're usually really cool people. But honestly, the whole Scion thing, that should be a note for a lot of amateur teams out there. Just
You
stick it
stick
out with
together,
your
yeah.
squad. if you
Yeah,
stick out with your squad, you can go further together. And I think what a lot of AMs are missing is the fact that they just keep thinking that they can
yeah,
roster hop their way to success. And I think
uh-huh.
there's a certain
It's
degree of
sometimes
that,
it
but
works, but
yeah.
it also helps having two absolutely cracked twins playing with you the whole time. But
Yeah,
yeah,
find yourself a pair of twins who are
find
cracked at the
yourself a
game
two
and
pair
they
of
can
twins
be
that have been competitive in other games as well.
yeah.
That could just pick up any game and just be like, oh, well, this was easy to figure out. Like,
Yeah,
God.
but sh- but short of switching completely game genres to fighting, I think I'll stick out Halo. Maybe X Defiant. Well, there's a lot of buzz around that right
There
now.
is. I played it a little when it came out. It's all right. I do think that it's not there yet. Like I thought about hopping into like one of the smaller tournaments because there was one not too long ago, and I know Blaine's was like, well, does anyone need people to play with? And I thought about DMing him, just be like, I'll hop on and play it. But it's like there's no ranked mode really, or there is, but it's just like practice or whatever the fuck they're calling it. It's like, and I'm just like, it's okay. I do
Yeah.
think the game isn't fully there yet to hold a competitive scene because I personally don't like games releasing in such a broken state like that. How it's like you have a feature in the game, but it's not fully implemented. Like, it's not hard to implement a ranked mode and have it there. Just like you just put ranks, even if it's the normal bronze, silver, gold. You can throw a diamond there and then just like a top rank or just one after that. Like it's nothing. It's not hard. It's just it just releases very Ubisoft fashion. Not done.
Yeah, I'm always very cautious of the Ubisoft games,
Dude,
but
me
they
and
seem to have
Dark Matter went on a
captured.
whole like it was like a half hour like we went from talking about just like normal stuff to like a rant about Ubisoft games to like other stuff. We're just like, dude, like Division franchise, I love those games. And
Yeah.
then they just canceled the new one. They're just like, fuck our fan base. And then we get games like Skull and Bones, which is just so ass.
Yeah,
Or
anybody who's like a Ubisoft stan, like I feel bad for you because
yeah, like
most of the time they miss.
I used to be like, oh, new Assassin's Creed game, nice, I'ma play it. Now I'm just like, oh, new Assassin's Creed game, cool. I might, depends on how good it is. Or like, ooh, new Far Cry. I'm like, well, I might play it. I kind of already know how it's gonna play. It's gonna play like the last 3 or 4 of them. Which is why like I didn't really play the new Avatar game. I played it a little. Like I bought it. It's basically just Far Cry with aliens. It's kind of it. It's just like, okay, it's all right, I guess. They just don't make anything. They play everything too safe at this point. Like Siege is probably their most like out there game at this point. And even then,
Yeah.
that got too wild for me. Like I remember when it came out, and I was like, oh, it's grounded, realistic tactical shooter. And now it's like I can throw stuff against the walls. It makes other walls. I can fucking fly across the map, and it's like, what am I playing? Like this is not a tactical shooter anymore. Or then you turn the corner and everyone's like jiggle peeking back and forth as they're walking down the hallway, and I'm like, I'm good. I'll go back to Halo. I can't. Like,
Yeah, I know.
dude.
They probably wouldn't. Siege wouldn't be nearly as successful as it has been if it hasn't been for Jinxie too. I mean, that's somebody that just pulls
He,
like
yeah,
70K
he
viewers to your
completely,
game.
yeah, because it was big for years, and then it kind of fell off, kind of like how, unless you're like CS, then it never dies. It fell off, and then his streams blew up, and everyone's like, oh, I'll get back in the Siege. It's like, damn. It was not the game I was expecting to blow up. I've been hoping for StarCraft to get big again, because I think if I didn't pick up H2 when I was like 5, I would probably be the same way I am with Halo that I am with StarCraft, because I love RTSs. Never been great at them, but I love RTSs, and I would definitely like that would be the game where I would grind daily and play and try to compete. Like it is, because I think StarCraft and just RTSs in general they're an art form to just play and watch, and they're so different from anything else.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely. I enjoy playing RTS casually. I definitely could never try to play
Oh
competitively
god,
because
I
that's
am
like a whole different
awful,
world.
dude. Playing
Yeah.
like I got ranked in StarCraft 2, and I played a few games after, and I'm like, okay, I'm like relearning it, and I'm everything. I'm like, I'm not doing bad, and then I was like, you know what? I'll hop into one of those like night, like little like cups that they have. I got absolutely fucking thrashed by all of them. They're like, oh yeah, you're back new to this game, and I said, uh huh. He's like, well, it's nice playing you, and I'm like, the game lasted like 4 minutes. It was
Yeah,
fucking
dude, you got
over. I was like, oh
you're
god,
like upgrading your first tech, and they're like already an entire enemy
dude.
army in your base. Like,
Oh yeah, I'd have games where I'm like, you guys have Colossuses already, and I'm fucking just getting my expansion. I'm like, okay, okay, dude.
yeah,
That's
but
why
we'll
I'm,
see though. We'll
yeah,
see with the. There's a lot of really good.
um,
I think we're in a weird space where like there's a really big void. I think in terms of like what is the flagship game everybody's trying to get to, and so
I,
maybe something will shake out in the
yeah,
next year.
I think until like I think Microsoft is definitely gonna push. I think if Gears E-Day has like a really good multiplayer, I think they're definitely gonna push that because I do think Gears 5 didn't really have a very long, widespread competitive scene. Because I think
Yeah.
when it came out right at that middle time when H5 was pretty much done, like right after it ended, and there was just and CS was coming back being massive, and then like all the other competitive shooters were dropping. That's when BRs were coming out. It's just like it didn't have a chance to get its footing. And like Mental came from Gears 5, and I think that guy got bored playing Gears of War. I looked at his winnings. That man got bored. I don't give a fuck what he tries to say to anybody. He got bored playing Gears. 22-time champion just means you got bored. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. That game never just had a chance, and I hope at least because pro Gears play it's wild to watch. It is the way that they like manipulate moving around the walls and everything. It is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's got one of the most satisfying kills too.
Oh
Like, I
yeah.
mean, like that's always what like is a great draw. I mean, somebody just wall hopping around the map with the Nasher and just rolling up and outmaneuvering somebody, and then you know what I mean, splitting them in
Oh yeah.
half with a shot. Like, it's one of the best. It's like one of the best feelings you could have
Oh
in
yeah.
like an arena shooter.
Dude, Gears 5 got me like real back into Gears, at least multiplayer wise, because they put it on. I think it was Game with Gold years ago. It was like a year or so after it came out. And I was like, this is weird that this game just came out and they're just throwing it on like just free for everybody for like a month. And they had, I think it was like double XP or something for like, it was like a month straight. And I literally within 2 days got max level. Like I hit 100 within like a day or two. Dude, I was just fucking playing match after match. And I was like, this is fun. Because I was like, well, there's no Halo really. And no one's playing MCC like that. So I'll play this. It's never great, but I was definitely like, that was okay at it. More, yeah, and who knows? Maybe I'll pick up COD again when Black Ops 6 comes out. I'm just, I don't know. The new movement system. I'm tired of seeing people flop around and everything. It's like Adderall-induced kids spazzing out every lobby, and I'm like, I just can't. I can't do this. It's just ridiculous. You go into a gunfight and everyone's fucking jumping and sliding around, and I'm like, it's a little much.
Yeah, it's tough. I think after getting burned on some of the more recent titles in the COD franchise, like the idea of dropping like 70 on a new one, like I don't know. I mean,
I'm playing it
we'll
on,
see.
yeah. It's going to Game Pass, so I'm at least going to try it on Game Pass first. And then if it's good enough, I might get on PC because they try to make the specs on PC sound like demanding. They're like, it's a 1660 Ti. And then everyone's like, nah, it's probably going to run on a lot lesser because it has to run on the Xbox One. So,
Yeah.
and that's what I have is a 1660 Ti. I got it for $60, so I won't complain.
Nice.
Oh,
Good find. Good
oh,
find.
I finessed him. I was like, "Why are you selling this for too cheap?" I'm like, "I could go on eBay and get this for like a 150," and he's like, $60.
Nice.
I'm like, I live down the street from you. I will be right there,
Hell yeah, that's a good find.
dude. And now my Infinite runs better. I used to have a 1650 before. It was frame drops galore. I'd go on like certain maps and I'd get like sub 50 at times. I'd still do good, but I'm just like, this is sucks. And I've totally like, and like sometimes the graphics would bug out, and I was like, I just need something better.
No, it's definitely a huge difference. I mean, I got a
Yeah.
buddy of mine that been playing with for like a year, and he was rocking Wi-Fi and an Xbox, and he just now got like a PC upgrade, and so like
I
he's fallen in love with the game a little bit again.
I tell people if they want to get into PC, it's kind of like having a car you like. You constantly want to keep adding shit to it. It's a
Yeah.
very unhealthy thing. Like it's like you don't have the money to upgrade it, but you think you do, and you're constantly keep looking and looking. Like I have 32 gigs of RAM just sitting in my car on Newegg. At some point I'll buy it, but I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to, because
No, it's cool. Yeah, it's
dude,
cool. Like that's the great part of it. I mean, it's a huge investment up front,
oh
but
yeah,
then like the ability
I
to upgrade over time is just like
it's the
so much
one
better.
thing that I like. Like I'm not the most tech savvy when it comes to certain things, but like I can add stuff, I can do all that stuff. There are some things where like my friend built mine. I was like, it's my first build. I don't trust myself with it. Have fun, because I'm like I am going to fucking break something.
I hear you. Actually, this I got my PC in 2021, and the last PC I
I
had
think
before
that's when I
that
built
was
mine.
in
Yeah.
2008.
Oh
So
god,
like
that was the
that was
parts
a like
vastly
that was an
different. Oh
XP.
my
Yeah,
god.
that was an XP, and
Oh, I
the
miss.
funny part was is when I did my initial build on this one, is that I put a standard hard drive in it just because I was so out of the whack, like in terms of like
Ah,
SSDs features and everything like that. So for the longest time, was even like booting Halo up on a standard hard drive, spinning a hard drive, and it would take forever. Like I used
you're
to get ragged on so hard. It was so
you're
funny.
gonna you say that I have Infinite installed on an external hard drive on my computer.
Nice.
More because my case doesn't have a hard drive or SSD bay. I don't know
Oh
why.
dang.
It just didn't come with it. It was just odd. And I'm like, okay, so I have two external SSDs, an external hard drive. I have an internal SSD, and I'll probably get an M.2 at some point. But it's just like it is. It's a jank setup. Cables are fucking everywhere out the back. It is a fucking mess. My second screen is on top of the case. It's but it works. So I'm like, I can't exactly complain. There are times like I had to restart my computer right before I called you because like Streamlabs wasn't loading. It was just like, I'm not gonna function right now. So I'm like, I'm just gonna restart it because nothing's working. Like Task Manager wouldn't even boot in. I was just like, this is fucking stupid. But I was like, and of course all my friends that get into computers, they're like, all right, so this is happening and this, and I'm like, oh. I was like, I don't mind being tech support. But I'm like, it is sometimes where I'm like, they're like, yeah, this happened. And I'm like, fuck, I actually have to Google this real quick because I have no clue what it is. What I was like, I don't know what your computer's doing right now because mine's never done that. Like, mine was pretty much plug and play. Like, my parts in it are fairly cheap. Like, my motherboard was like, it was like 60, 70 bucks. Like, I can't even change the RAM speed. It just literally default.
Eesh.
And I'm like, you know what? It works. And I've had no real issues. So I'm like, you know what? Until it becomes a problem, I will not question it.
I hear you. Yeah. I
Dude.
mean, if it works, it works.
Oh yeah, that's kind of what like how I am with consoles. I'm like, if it works, it works. I don't like that I'm gonna have to get more storage for the Series S because I don't like how they do storage for the console. I think it's a sham and it's very intrusive. Having I don't get the whole expansion card thing. Apparently, it's a PS2 again, literally. And they're like, oh, for a terabyte, that's 180 bucks. I'm like, I can go on Newegg and get an M.2 for 50 bucks. That's a terabyte.
It's funny you talked about PS2 and the expansion thing. So my first online multiplayer experience was PS2, and at that time you had to buy the online
Yeah, you had
adapter
to
to
buy that
plug
little
into the
adapt.
back.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
I still have my PS2 with it too as well. But yeah,
Mine's
that
right
was
on
like,
my desk.
let's go.
It's a little dusty. Occasionally will just boot it up, just have it spin a little. but it's like the disk drive is starting to go. It's starting to stick about halfway, so I have to like pull it. Like my original Xbox and stuff is all in my closet. I just have nowhere to put it. And
That's awesome.
my 360 died. I was trying to play Halo 3 servers right before they shut down, and I was like, I'm gonna do it on the 360, all this stuff. And I hit the button, and it red ringed. And it was my second because I had the warranty where because the first ones had red ring so much that they extended the warranty, so I got a free one, and it finally died. This one, I was like, fuck, I don't have to buy another one. It's like, damn it, I don't want to buy another 360 at some point. Luckily, they're cheap at this point.
Yeah, you could probably get a good deal on them.
Yeah, I think I found one for like, it was like $50. But I want like the original white one that had the like the hard drive on the very top, and you could like clip it out. I want that one. I don't want like the newer slim ones where everything's internal. I don't know if it's just like nostalgia or everything, because like I remember I got it and I was like, ooh, 6 gigs of storage. That's a lot.
I have a broken down 360 somewhere, but that has the hard drive on the top there. You can clip off and stuff like that. I'm
lost
just curious.
mine.
I wish I could just like log on there and see what's on there, just to like look at the memory bank.
Oh yeah, it was not a lot, because I know at one point I had to install something on a thumb drive because I ran out of space. And then I lost the thumb drive. So there's a copy of Sniper Elite V2 somewhere in the world. Someone has it now. Don't know where it is. Someone has a copy of that game on a thumb drive. It was like, the game was like 6 gigs and the thumb drive was like, I think it was like 7. And I was like, this works. And I think that thumb drive was expensive as fuck back then when I bought it. It was not cheap. I'm like, oh my god, I was like, man, 7 gigs. This is a lot. I was like, this is a lot of space and a lot of money.
Yeah, that's crazy,
dude.
Man. I'm actually. It's funny you were talking, because you mentioned a couple things on here. You mentioned game battles earlier.
Dude, I miss game battles. I used to do it for Black Ops 3. I did it because that's originally how H5 did their like, before the majors. Like that's before that's where they had everything set up through. And I had a team to do the very first one, even though I probably would have not been able to compete on LAN because that was before they had people 13 and under be able to compete, before Shotzi and them. But I was like, I had a team. We practiced. We played. We 4-stacked. It was like 2 weeks straight. We just played, just arena, and just were grinding. And someone on our team, the day before the tournament, goes, "Yeah, I gotta go see family tomorrow, so I can't do it." And I said, "Huh?" I said, "That would have been real nice to know 2 weeks ago, so we could have had someone to replace you." I was like, or even a week ago, so we could have been practicing with somebody else.
Yeah, the good old team-based games, man.
Dude, I was fucking livid. Oh man, because I was like, we were playing constantly, and I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, call outs and stuff." Ours were so dumbed down. Like, I do that with my friends now because they don't play a whole lot. There are very dumbed down call outs. I'll be like, yeah, I'll use a lot of the more in-game call outs because they know that, instead of like a bunch of the other ones. Like I'm like, the only ones I really use, they're like B-rail and stuff, or like stuff like that. But like, I'll be like, yeah, they're elevator, and they're like, oh, I know where that is. Like, I won't use like, oh, either A or this or that, unless that's pretty much the call out, because they're like, oh, I don't have time to learn all of this, so I like do dumbed down call outs with them. Like, I remember in H5, I had a call out for blue base. It was just BB. That was it. Nothing else around it. It was just BB. That general area, that was all. And they're like, oh, that works.
Yeah, dude, whatever works for your team.
Oh, yeah. I was like, you know what? If it works, I did a few of the opens for Infinite. I did 1 or 2 of them with my friends, and they're a lot lower level than I am. And we got absolutely fucking killed. And it was by like the low C teams, like the ones that were like just Onyx, like barely Onyx, like low 1500s. And it was, we'd lose Strongholds games. Like, it'd be like 250 to 1. It'd just be a fucking blender the whole time. And my friend got excited because he was like bronze, and he got a kill on one of them, and he's like, "Let's go!" And I'm like, "You're 1 in 16?"
Yeah, you take what you can get.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes.
like I played Gunny. This was months ago. It was not the last reset, but the reset before. He was my first placement match, and I'm looking through the list. I'm like, I don't belong in this lobby. Why is he here? And I think I killed him once, and I said, you know what, moral victory, I'll take it. And then like the other day, I was doing ranked Slayer, and I played Rob the Turtle. Don't know why he was in a platinum lobby for ranked Slayer, but I was like, why are you in this? I was like, hey, and then he made like his tweet. He's like, oh, first time playing again in 2 months, and I was like, it's been 2 months. This doesn't look like you stopped playing at all. It's like he had the sniper. He's fucking doming me cross map on Narrows. I'm pretty sure. Like it was like off spawn too, just like gone. I was like, oh my god. It's like it's been 2 months. It's like I didn't even get a fucking chance. But dude, I would like to get into more lobbies like that to get the experience of at least the practice of playing against actual pros or even like AM pros, just to get that, like playing LAN at Orlando, even if it was for like a few games, was fantastic. It was awesome, and I was able to actually like get kills and everything, and it felt good to like be like, all right, I can actually compete with these mid to higher Onyx players that play this daily. Like it felt good to do that. Because like I think I talked to Blaine's about it like after we got done, and I was like, so I'm like plat 5. He goes, you're plat 5? I said, yeah. He goes, you're not bad at the game. I was like, well, what are you? He's like, I'm 1600. I'm like, yeah, just casual, like almost 1,000 ahead of me when it comes to score. Sick. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
CSR is not a good determinant of like people's skill.
No, which is why I don't get why skill-based matchmaking's in every single mode outside of like Fiesta and stuff. Yep. It just makes no sense. It's like I don't want to play Team Slayer game and I'm sweating my ass off just to play casual Team Slayer game or BTB, and I'm getting in like mint blitzes in my lobby, and I'm like, the match is already over before it started. Yep. He's fucking getting 100 kills and the game's over. Like it's not fun. Oh, like I said, I could rant about stuff all day. Like I said, it always turns into tangents with me. Like I could start one thing, like we went from you competing in different games to that. Like I said, it's always just a tangent with me.
Nah, dude, it's been an absolute pleasure.
I piss my friends off with it too. They're like, dude, can you shut the fuck up already? And I'm like, okay.
Nah, dude, it's an absolute pleasure, man. Yeah. I appreciate you having me on here.
Oh yeah, you can come on any other time you want. Just DM me or I'll DM you if you want. Or
heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
always down to talk about stuff, and even if it's like Halo or just anything. Like I was telling Mike Dark Matter, I was like yeah, the podcast is themed, but if someone wants to come on and talk about like a movie franchise for an hour, I'm okay with that. Like I more want it to be just like just two friends shooting the shit. I kind of more just want it to be like that as well. Like if it's structured, it is for the episode. If it's not, it is what it is. As long as it's like the person comes out of it and they had fun talking about it or just enjoyed their time, I'll take it. Yeah, that's why I'm just like, I'm gonna take it serious, but I'm also like, it's not gonna be super serious as well. Like, speak your mind, say whatever you want. It is what it is. I think that's how it should be, personally.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what people like.
But yeah, thank you for your near hour and 20 minutes of your time. Yeah, Mike Dark Matter and me. I was like, he asked me, and he's like, "Oh yeah, how long have you been?" I'm like, "Oh, it's just been like an hour and 50." He goes, "Oh God." I was like, "Oh yeah, we completely went on a tangent and lost track of time." He goes, "It's fine." Like I said, yeah. Like I said, I don't expect all these to be. Yeah, like I said, I don't expect all of these to be 2 hours. If they are, whatever. Like my friend was like, yeah, I'll edit them. Because like my editing skills are, frankly, horrible. And of course, there's no easy way to send large files unless it's through like OneDrive, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to log into it. Like Discord doesn't let you, email doesn't ever like, and like these like this is probably gonna be like 2 gigs, and most things don't let you send anything larger than like a gig maybe. But yeah.
Yeah, I usually use WeTransfer for big stuff, but I don't know. Somebody alerted me that like apparently if you use WeTransfer, they have like some sort of like domain over it or whatever. But I was always like, what are they gonna do with
Yeah.
my stuff?
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta find something that's just easy to send stuff back and forth, because they don't make it easy. Because I get
Uh,
why it's a lot to send at once, but it's like but like if the person's not good at editing and everything, it's like it's good to send something or back and forth and be like they can help you or whatever. But it's like nothing's made easy anymore. And I took a class to edit, and I was horrible. Like in school, I was like, I did that in school, and I was awful at it then.
nice.
Yeah, but it was a pleasure talking to you, and I guess enjoy the rest. Where do you live? Because you're like 6 Eastern, and I was like, yes. That's why I was like,
I'm out here in Colorado,
oh God.
so
So was it
I'm
Mountain
2 hours.
Time? Was it like Mountain
Yeah,
Time?
Mountain Time.
Say it's almost 5:30 for you.
Yep, almost 5:30 for
God,
me.
that had been a long flight all the way to Orlando. Oh my God, because I've
Yeah, it was a
done
4-hour flight.
fuck. That is.
Yeah, it was tough.
Whew.
And I got another one coming up here because I'll be at HCS Atlanta.
I'm gonna try to go to that, but it's like a 6-hour drive. Like, I'm trying to think. You know, is it Saber? I was hanging out with him, Jacob. A bunch of us
Uh,
from there were like, yeah, we're gonna, yeah, because he's like, I have to drive up your way anyway. He's like, I could just pick you up and we could all carpool. That's why I was like, why don't we all just get like a bunch of us to go and just
yeah, dude,
split the bill? Because it's like,
yeah,
because all of us, I can tell, are probably not trying to spend a lot of money, because I don't make money to just be like, I'm gonna just go up there and get Airbnb just by myself and everything. I was like, I don't make that level of money, so I'm like, I can't. So I was like, if we all split in Airbnb, I was like, I don't even care if it's one room and we're all packed in. I don't give a fuck.
hell yeah, dude. Well, I hope you can. I hope it gets squared away, and then I can see you there at
Yeah,
Atlanta.
yeah, same, because it would be my first major to go to, and of course it's the last year possibly. So it's like this might be like it, and might not be able to go to another one until the next game.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So things are not looking good, but
Yep. But
well, cool, man. Cool,
yeah.
cool, 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 cool.
Well,
I appreciate, like I said
oh yeah.
before, I appreciate you having
Oh,
me on
I
here,
appreciate
and
your time, and it's been a great conversation.
heck yeah, dude. Hopefully we
Yeah.
can follow up sometime in the future.
I'll I'll hold you to it. Oh yeah.
That's good, dude. Maybe we'll do a recap after Atlanta.
I'm down.
Let's
I'm
do it. We'll
down.
put it up. We'll pencil it in.
Alrighty.
All right, man. Well, with
All right.
that, I'll say bon voyage and have a good night over there on the East Coast. And you take it easy, man.
You too.
All right, adios.
Peace. I'll I'll just exit it. Boop. Alrighty. Yeah, you can see my desktop. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more. And I know people are gonna be like, why do you leave this in? Because I don't care. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And of course, peace.